All right, what's happening, folks? I'm at Warrior Poet HQ, and we're talking traveling with guns, and we're going to talk about some budget options. So anyway, all links are going to be down below, so make sure you hit that stuff up if you see something you like, and if not, at least this will be a resource on your journey to getting good, cool things. Before we go on any farther, let me go ahead and tell you to subscribe, toggle the notifications bell to all the cool kids are doing it. Come join us. Also, I'd like to say that I've already done a video on how to travel with guns, and so this is not going to be an exhaustive talk on everything regarding getting through TSA. I'm gonna go ahead and provide a link down below and maybe up here so that you guys can go ahead and check that video out. But I do want to hit the high points so you're not in the wrong place. So first off, some highlights on traveling. Traveling with guns is much, much easier than most people think. Sometimes, because I can go to the special services line, I walk straight up to it rather than waiting in the big long line. Sometimes I can even get through the check-in process faster than people without guns. And if you know what you're doing, which is mainly having the right case to travel with, which is TSA approved, whether that's a smaller pistol case or whether it's a rifle case, and make sure that you're not trespassing on the airline or TSA's big no-nos like traveling with loaded magazines and things like that, and you've got the right locks on everything, you should be good to go. A lot of times it's amazing, they really don't know their own laws, and it's almost like every single time I go to this airline, a different Joe's behind the counter and they don't know their own rules sometimes. Make sure you're checking your own laws, because I'm not a lawyer. This is my understanding and I could be wrong. But anyway, I traveled to California, I was just fine. However, there are other states and places that I would not want to travel to, mainly airports in Massachusetts or New York. I don't want to travel to that. If I'm going to the Northeast, I'll typically go to like Pennsylvania or something else like that. By the way, my training calendar is down below in the links if you guys want to check it out. We're sold out right now. I've got nothing to sell you. However, we're planning on expanding the training stuff, and so some stuff will be opening up here in the near future. If you want early notifications on training classes, you're gonna have to join Patreon. Our patrons usually sell out our classes before they even hit the public, so that's the secret, is a 48-hour head start. Again, sorry that we're sold out. I have nothing to give you. That'll change in the future, but regardless, thanks for wanting to train with me. That means a lot. Thanks, poets. Some other things of typically the airline's going to ask you, are your guns unloaded? And you should make sure your guns are unloaded. And all your ammunition needs to be packaged in the original manufacturer's boxes. So right here, this is a good to go. Fiocchi, they're my homeboys. And as long as I'm in this box, you're good to go. So I just do that. Magazines that are loaded is a no-go. You're not supposed to be able to do that. I have done it before and got away with it, and I've also done it before and had to download ammo. But don't travel with loose ammo. You're inviting trouble. So make sure that's unloaded. The next thing is you'll need to make sure that it's locked in smaller cases like this. It's just here and here. TSA approved locks is fine, or you can have just your own locks, and that's what I recommend, like this. Your own locks. So they'll have a process they go through. It is not hard to travel as long as you have the right case and you know the right protocol that mainly has to do with unloading the gun and ammo. When in doubt about traveling to weird states, if you'll just take your gun apart and your magazines apart, now you're not really traveling with guns, you're traveling with gun parts. And it's one more piece where you can sidestep a bunch of anti-constitutional bureaucratic red tape crap. So anyway, just take your guns apart and now make sure the upper and lower receivers aren't touching each other. So now it cannot be considered an actual gun. It's just gun parts. Smarter, not harder, guys. Train hard, train smart. That's our tagline, and we're sticking to it. Now, I feel like I'm auctioning something off. You feel how fast I'm talking? I think I'm talking too fast because of coffee. Stand by, guys. Let me just... Very good. Awesome. Anywho, what is wrong with me? Guys shouldn't be allowed. My staff should stop me from making a video when I'm in such a corny and weird mood, but you guys are aces for sticking with me. Let's review some of the cases that I've been using for the last few years. These are Pelican cases, and they're kind of like the gold standard in hard travel cases. If you guys are in the military and throwing stuff on, ships or the back of trucks or kicking them out of airplanes, you really need to invest in a very high quality case. Don't cut corners. This case has belonged to 2 different military members before it belonged to me, and it's been all over the world, and it's not in good looking shape, but the thing is sturdy and it's still kicking. So when we go to the budget cases, that's not a good case if you have hard use. If you're just traveling through airports, TSA kind of stuff, and you're just airplane to curb and that's about it, and you take it to the range and stuff, these budget cases are going to save you a whole bunch of money, and so that's why I wanted to give it an option. It's easy for me, and I've been guilty of this in the past, to be kind of a little bit of the snooty, only get the highest end gear, because when you're in the industry or you're in the military and you have access to the nicest stuff, it's easy to sneer at the other stuff, but I'm trying to be a good resource for those out there that are budget conscious. So anyway, I'm branching out and bringing some other stuff to bear for you. The Pelicans are really cool. This is one of the bigger cases. This is the Pelican 1650. We made little notes, so we made sure we get our specs right. The thing I like about this is it's really sturdy, and if you get a really big case that you're going to put a lot of weight in, it better be a really sturdy case. The smaller cases, particularly the pistol cases, you can kind of get away with a whole bunch of stuff. You need a pretty darn tough case for this. This is the Pelican 1650. The things I don't like about it is it's a $300 case. It also weighs 25 pounds. The extra organizer was a separate cost, and I had to buy this separate and screw it in, but I thought it was neat, so I just traveled to a force-on-force class this past weekend, so I've got all my training guns and stuff in here and all my equipment things. You want some durability. This is stupid expensive, and it's very heavy. So empty, I'm halfway to a heavy bag when going through TSA. 50 pounds is oftentimes about the mark where if you're over, it's now a heavy bag, and they're going to charge you an extra 35, 50, 70 bucks or something depending on your airline. Then if it gets into like 70 pounds, it's like a double heavy, and they'll give you a whole nother charge. So like when you fly like Spirit or something, and this is totally weighed down and weighing like 80 something pounds, I'm just getting raped on price. Probably not the best choice of words for YouTube, but that's how I feel. Anyway, going to this next Pelican case. This is a rifle case. I've had this for a long time. This is the Pelican 1700. Things I don't like about this is it costs 245 bucks. That's really expensive for a case. Again, it's lasting a very long time. Now there's different internal compositions. This right here is a cutout foam, and it sucks to cut this stuff out. So you're gonna have to like get an X-Acto knife and dig it all out and polish it up. And this took a lot of time. I thank the Lord that I didn't do most of it. It was already like this when I got it used, but it sucks to do this. But once you've got this design and template in, it's really sturdy. Whereas all the other cases and even this, it's this pick and pluck. I think that's the name that they gave it. And it's like these little squares so that you can easily customize it, but then it falls apart. And I'll show you how I sidestep that problem as well. Anyway, Pelican 1700. This thing weighs 17 pounds empty. And so when you load this up with ammo, rifle, pistol, all this stuff, you start to get into that heavy bag category as well, especially when you add ammo and things. So anyway, if you got hard use stuff, you're gonna need to go to something pretty hardcore, but again, expensive. So now it's time to show you some budget alternatives after we talk real quickly about the pistol cases. This is a Pelican, this is a Voltec. I don't really put nearly the constraints on a really tough, durable case when it's so small, because you just don't need it as much. Pretty cool right here. These are, again, can get pretty pricey, depends on what you want to do. Again, all this stuff, I'm going to provide links down in the description. So if you like one thing over the other, we got all the goodies for you down below. Simplifies the process so you get what you want, and the affiliate links also help us as well. So thank you for wanting to support us so I can pay my cameraman. Nod yes if you like getting paid, cameraman. That's awesome. All right, this pistol case is near and dear to our heart because when you get our War Poet pistol, this is actually the case that they've been shipping in. So here's our War Poet pistol. Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. Anyway, it just comes in this case when you order it. So I've got videos on the War Poet gun. That is our baby that was made by Shadow Systems, and so that's how we roll. Anyway, pistol cases are there, and I want to move more into the rifle. This is a really big barrel, so much bigger than the other Pelican 1700 case. Just for scale, go ahead and come on over here. When I go corner to corner, you can see how much bigger this thing, this case is. So I can carry a couple rifles. When I go do long range precision stuff, I can put a couple blasters in here or a tripod. I can put all kinds of stuff in here. This, you can feel it when you immediately open the thing up. It is definitely sturdy, but not nearly like this. So if it's hard duty use, you're obviously paying for something, and they're making this lighter. So if it's TSA kind of thing, you're not paying nearly as much for the heavy stuff. This is the pick and pluck stuff so that I could pull out these little squares, and you can kind of customize it so you could lay your rifle or something in there and it wouldn't be sloshing around, right? The other cases, and I want to look at this second. Let me show you this one that's already empty. And unlike this Pelican, let me just go and move it over here. Unlike this Pelican, it's a little bit bigger. It is definitely lighter. Yeah, this one weighs 12 pounds, where this one weighed 17. If you'll notice the eye holes in the Pelican, 1, 2, 3, 4. If it has an eye hole, TSA wants you to put a lock on it. So sometimes I've gotten away with flying with 2. Sometimes they make you have 4, and it sucks to have 4 locks rather than just 2. Both are TSA approved, but when they see the eyelets, they want a lock in every eyelet. So that's one more hassle. The weight, the extra locks, and the price, right? This one costs, this is $75, 75 bucks. You can immediately feel it flimsier. I've been carrying this one around. This is the exact same model, but just in gray. This model around for about a year. So that's probably like, I don't know, maybe 8 trips on airplanes. So about 16 times where I've checked this into TSA. If I'm wrong, it's just by a couple trips. I've had one issue back here where one of these hinge pins backed out some, and it was just one of the 4. And I'm just like, that's interesting. And I pushed it back in, and I'm like, I don't like that. And another time where I didn't have my pressure valve turned in the right way, and so the case was all sucked in. I'm like, what the crap? Oh, and then I just adjusted the pressure valve, and it went ahead and reinflated. So that was just more user error type thing. All right, so this is the configuration that I've been traveling around with the most, just so you can get an idea of the size of this $75 case. Here is a rifle with a 16-inch barrel, and you can see it fits in here just fine, especially if you collapse the stock just a little bit more. I'm having plenty of room. This one right here, I have already pulled out material so I'm able to fit all my goodies in here. So this is how I've been flying. This is my my rifle right here, pistol as well, some ammunition. These magazines should be unloaded, but I'm just showing you for purposes of layout. This is how I'm usually rolling. This right here, if I pull this out, you'll see it's Law Tactical Folder, and then I just put my sling on it to be back in action. But anyway, that's how I'm rolling with it. Now, when you get this pick and pull stuff, and this is not about this case, this is almost all the cases, unless it has that pain in the butt foam that's really cool once you got it, but it sucks to be able to set up and cut out. No bueno fun. This one is that pick and pull stuff, but if you get a special like a spray on, I'll have a link down below for it because I don't remember the name. I think I want to call it like Plastisol or something, whatever. If you go ahead and get it how you want it, and this is how I wanted it right here with all the little cutouts, then you spray that stuff really good and let it dry. It keeps it from falling apart so it becomes one piece rather than that flaky grid. So anyway, guys, obviously not the same quality as the Pelican, but what you get is you get something that is significantly less money. It is lighter, and it's easier with the locks on the rifle cases because you only have to have half as many. So if you're just flying to and fro, these cases make a lot of sense. If it's going to be harder use and you want to be able to pass it down to your kids, get something a little bit tougher. So here's the more expensive one, and this is the kind of the the lowest price one that actually works for what I need it to happen. So anyway, guys, hope this video has been a resource to you to be able to perpetuate security around the world, because warrior poets, freedom fighters kind of stuff. I want you to be able to travel armed and use guns to the glory of God, right? So make sure you're sharing this video with other people. If you haven't hit the like button, do so. Share, get in the comments, and tell me some stuff that maybe I forgot in this video, or any of your travel stories as you've been going around the country. I want to hear the good stories and the horror stories, because why not? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Train hard, train smart. We'll see you next time.